Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. We would like to welcome you to the last day of FABxLive Global Fab Day. And we would like to start our day with a morning yoga. So we would like to introduce Pradnya, that she will help you with doing morning yoga.
Hi, I am Pradnya Shindekar, your host and host for this Fab exercise, and today we are going to do yoga exercise with all my friends.
Hi, I am Nalini Khairmode. I am a housewife and I am doing yoga for flexibility and stress relief.
Hi, I am Smita Kadam. I am a housemaker and I am doing a yoga for a peace of mind.
Hello, I am Srushti Jadhav. I am homemaker and I am doing yoga for fitness.
So let's
I hope that everybody did the yoga, and if you didn't, of course, you can go back, and we hope that you can practice yoga with Pradnya every day. So now that we took this nice feeling of India, let's continue and let's immerse to a live 10-minute meditation with Arundathi. Thank you so much, Arundathi, for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah. Namaste everyone. I'm Arundathi Zado from India. Yeah. I'm from Vigyan Ashram, and I was an instructor in Vigyan Ashram. And also in Vigyan Ashram, we do meditation every day for 15 minutes. And meditation, we called it as a Vipassana also. And meditation is a tool which deals with the fears, anxiety, and it is an approach to train our mind, just like we train our body with the help of exercise. Similarly, that we train our mind with the help of meditation. So actually in a instructor boot camp, we did this meditation for 7 days at 7 different places, and that was a best experience for me. And thank you Fab Foundation for this, giving me opportunity to take a virtual meditation. So before start the meditation, I would like to give you few instruction. So everyone, first sit at any place, but sit very comfortably on the ground, on the floor, on the chair, at any place, but sit very comfortably. Now you put your hands like this on the knee. And the main technique of meditation is concentration on your breathing by closing your eyes. So now I'm going to start this meditation. So now everyone, open your eyes by grabbing your hands each other and put it on your eyes. And now slowly open your eyes. Yes, I feel very relaxing right now. So meditation do very good role in our life, because if we are in tension, then if we are fears from something, then meditation help you a lot for this, and it is helpful for all age group of students. So I request you all, please uh, do meditation for 10 minutes every day, and you will feel also very relaxing, very happy, and very focused. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arundathi. It was very nice. And I hope that people can enjoy and practice with you after this conference. I hope that everybody now is relaxed, and after doing the meditation, you can enjoy 15 minutes of our last Fab World videos. We will be after together in our wrap-up session.
Un modelo estereolitográfico es la impresión o la reproducción 3D de una imagen tomográfica.
Bueno, Jorge llega al laboratorio con la necesidad de crear modelos en 3D para planificación quirúrgica. El proceso es un proceso relativamente nuevo, ¿verdad? No lo habíamos hecho antes.
Entonces empezamos a incursionar en eso con dos casos. Él quiere que desarrollemos en conjunto entre las dos universidades, la UNED y la UCR, un proyecto donde podamos ir determinando un protocolo para realizar esas impresiones y ponerlo a disposición de la comunidad nacional.
Imagen DICOM, que DICOM quiere decir Digital Image Medicine, es como el formato universal de cómo
una imagen médica.
Se transmiten las imágenes médicas, que ya eso está establecido, y lo paso a un formato imprimible.
Que básicamente son slices, ¿verdad? Como capas de una pieza del cuerpo, una parte del cuerpo. Podemos tener un modelo a partir de un TAC en cuestión de unas 4 o 6 horas, en una impresora económica y con material de bajo costo.
La impresora, ¿verdad? Va a tener casi siempre tiene un puerto USB, entonces se conecta a la computadora y ahí ya da las opciones de cómo quiere usted la impresión, si quiere que tenga una base, porque por ejemplo en este caso uno tiene que acomodar la mandíbula de ciertas maneras, ¿verdad?
La técnica permite imprimir cualquier parte del cuerpo a la que se le realice una tomografía.
Hemos tenido que aprender y que informarnos y que estudiar, encontrando ejemplos o experiencias que se han dado en otros países en las que se han utilizado estas tecnologías y adaptarlo a nuestra realidad y a los equipos que nosotros tenemos. Pero de hecho los seminarios de graduación con estudiantes nos han permitido ir perfeccionando lo que hemos logrado hasta ahora. Nosotros lo que hacemos es darle posibles soluciones o aplicaciones que le podrían facilitar la atención de esa necesidad médica.
Para planificación de casos, para educación, para aprender, para poder practicar tal vez algún procedimiento que quiera hacer, y también para poderme comunicar con el paciente, que el paciente pueda entender y que nos ha funcionado muy bien cuando tiene algo tridimensional, algo La idea ahorita es exponer o dar a conocer a la comunidad también qué es lo que estamos haciendo, no solo investigar, no solo enseñar, sino también llevar el proceso a la comunidad para que haya mayor difusión de lo que estamos haciendo ya a nivel nacional e internacional.
Hello everyone, so today I will make a presentation of Vulka Experimenta, the new tools of Vulka. Until now we had Vulka Tour to visit and meet local communities all over Europe. We also had a Vulka seminar to gather all the makers and the makerspace we visited in Europe, and we wanted to find another way to develop and to understand the mobility of makers in Europe. Since the beginning of Vulka, we visited more than 300 local communities all over Europe. It was about Fabloves, makerspace, but also biolabs. We realized that each of these visited spaces represent a potential documentation for someone who had the project to launch her or his own local project. We realized also that as Vulka, we wanted to develop our own project. With Vulka Experimenta, we had two key objectives. The first one is to understand existing residency models used by makerspace and see how this existing model can be replicated to new makerspace. It was also to create for the first time an open source documentation to help makerspace to take the right decision in the construction of a project, including residency of international makers. Vulka Experimenta is based on two main components. The first one is a study case. The development of a local makerspace will make visible the difficulties that appear when it's about to develop a makerspace based on a residency model. The second component is a field observation. With the Vulka Tour, we will be able to see how makerspace, Fabloves and biolabs have been able to solve similar problematics in the past. The third component of Vulka Experimenta is open discussion we will have during Vulka seminar and inside the WhatsApp groups. With the development of these new tools, we wanted, with Vulka Experimenta, to work on a specific topic, the maker's residency in rural area. Because even if rural area represent challenging spaces, they don't appear in a lot of research papers. It's why, during all the life of this project, we wanted to have the participation of researcher, maker, policy maker, in fact, every people who can be interested in the development of a makerspace or in the questions of makers' residency. To make the study case, we'll follow the creation of two makerspaces in rural areas. The first one is in Monza in France, and the second one is in Casablanca in Portugal.
Hace un año, un grupo de integrantes de los laboratorios de fabricación digital en Chile se agruparon y reactivaron la red chilena de FabLabs, con el objetivo de desarrollar de forma conjunta proyectos de alto impacto regional y local, y vincularse con la red latinoamericana de FabLabs y la red global.
Actualmente, la red chilena está conformada por 16 laboratorios de diversas naturalezas, pero muy complementarios. Este año estamos enfocados en construir un proyecto común, una sola identidad, donde las capacidades y aprendizajes de cada laboratorio sean relevantes.
En este momento, Chile se encuentra en medio de una crisis multidimensional, lo cual nos exige profundas transformaciones como país. Nosotros como red chilena nos sentimos llamados a ser actores relevantes en este proceso creativo, integrando la visión de futuro que emerge desde la práctica FabLab. Hoy tenemos la oportunidad de proyectar nuevos modelos socioeconómicos basados en lógicas solidarias y sustentables para poder transitar hacia un mayor bienestar social y ambiental.
Juntos queremos convertirnos en un ecosistema creativo relevante para nuestro país. Una plataforma heterogénea donde surjan soluciones a nuestras necesidades más latentes e instalar nuevas prácticas productivas que puedan aportar a generar una nueva cultura del hacer para Chile, basada en la colaboración y en la apertura del conocimiento.
Esta crisis sanitaria, sobrellevando el profundo drama social que ha significado, ha sido una oportunidad para el quehacer de los FabLab. En respuesta a la falta de insumos médicos, nos hemos articulado para impulsar múltiples iniciativas de diseño y fabricación distribuida, donde hemos compartido desarrollos de código abierto, y estos se han materializado en nuestras casas y laboratorios, sin contacto físico a lo largo de todo Chile. Muchos de estos proyectos fueron inspirados en iniciativas en la red mundial, que nos permitió prever la necesidad de activar redes de Fab Lab, industrias e instituciones médicas para contribuir en el contexto de esta pandemia.
Sabemos que actualmente debemos trabajar para que estas prácticas sean más permanentes fuera de un contexto de vida o muerte. Hoy, los Fab Lab han demostrado la importancia de generar una mayor economía productiva en sus países, estimulando y articulando un ecosistema de desarrolladores, emprendedores y productores de toda escala. Esto nos permitirá transitar de un modelo de crecimiento a un sistema de desarrollo.
Para generar este cambio profundo, debemos impulsar nuevos modelos educativos, más integrales y activos, proveyendo experiencias formativas en donde la tecnología sea vista como una herramienta creativa. La red de Fab Labs debe articularse para ofrecer programas de formación a partir del autoaprendizaje y el empoderamiento tecnológico, la resolución de problemáticas locales y la construcción de nuevas realidades.
Finalmente, como red, reconocemos la importancia de apoyar la creación de nuevas plataformas y espacios de creación digital para la activación de ecosistemas basados en recursos naturales, personas y tecnologías digitales.
Nuestro propósito como red chilena es posicionar el modelo FabLab en Chile, consolidándose como un gran ecosistema creativo que convoca y pone en evidencia el impacto de estas nuevas formas de hacer, pensar y relacionarse para proyectar un mejor futuro.
Hey, FabxLive. I'm James Crew from the Center for Bits and Atoms, and I'm here to provide you with a brief update on two exciting new projects that we've just concluded and that we're just starting this year. As many of you know, Neil has been talking for years and years about the idea of a super fab lab, a digital fabrication facility to really anchor an entire region or a network of labs in a particular country. And I'm here to tell you that we've deployed the first ground-up Super Fab Lab in Kerala, India this year. In addition, we have a plan for 2021. January 2021, we'll be deploying the second one in Thimphu, Bhutan. So here with me today is Yadu Sharon as well as Kinley Rigson, both to talk a little bit about those projects. And we look forward to hearing a couple of their comments. So first, Yadu, we know that in January 2020, just 6 months ago, we deployed the first super lab in Kerala. And can you give us a brief update on that project as well as what's happened since then while I show a few pictures here?
Hi James, hi all. I'm Yadu from Super Fab Lab Kerala. As James mentioned, our lab was installed in this January by the team MIT. And we also conducted a one-week boot camp for the Fabacademy instructors, which was a great experience, spending a week with Neil. Unfortunately, 1 month after the installation, they were locked down due to the pandemic. But the great thing is that we could make use of the new machines for various COVID projects we and some of our startups were working on, like making masks, face shields, ventilator, and foods for doctors, etc. Also, we have started making a few custom CNCs, and what we would love is to have or fabricate a smaller fab lab from this super fab lab before the next fab conference. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, amazing. So you've challenged yourself to build a lab using your current super lab.
Yeah.
And we look greatly forward to an update during Montreal 2021's conference. Okay, thanks Yadu. Amazing. Kinley, now turning to the Bhutan lab, we know that that's in the planning stages, and we know that it's going to go into a location in Thimphu, and this particular building. Zoom a bit so everybody can see the beautiful building. Can you talk a little bit about future goals for this lab?
Thank you, James. My name is Kinley, and I'm working on the Super Fab Lab in Bhutan. Talking about the future goals, the main goal of Super Fab Lab is that we may come up with some small companies which has the ability to create technology based on the needs of the local, to solve local problems. Because normally, if you look at the current situation of Bhutan, we really rely on imports and technology that are solely made to solve problems of different localities. So hopefully with the establishment of Super Fab Lab, we would like to create an ecosystem for our Bhutanese community to build and fabricate. Thanks, James.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the update. And we look forward to seeing the entire Bhutan network, a reminder, during 2022 when we bring the Fab conference there. Fantastic. Thank you both for coming today and sharing those comments about two amazing projects. So today, FABxLive, I want to close with one simple question for everyone. Who's next?
Hello, welcome back to this final session of the FABxLive. Today we're in our Global Fab Day, and for those who did not tune in before, we had an incredible yoga session, then followed by a meditation session, and then we were with Fabworld. So if you did not tune before, you can definitely go back and check those out. And now we're gonna do our little wrap-up session where we're gonna do a little summary of what happened during the week. We had an amazing week with, I would say, 7,000 participants, viewers in YouTube. We had 2,000 registrations on our platform. So we have big numbers this year. And for that, we are gonna do this summary session with lessons and future thoughts from our host. So without further ado, I will hand it off to Neil.
Thank you, Norella. So we started the week with the direct response to the pandemic. It presented unprecedented challenges. We've really risen to meet it by mobilizing to support immediate needs. It's a spectacular effort. Looking ahead, it's credited to Winston Churchill and then Rahm Emanuel, the idea that you don't waste a crisis. And so I'd like to note 3 opportunities beyond the immediate response that we're doing. One is to recognize we've made a transition from a kind of a quirky fringe pursuit to we're now providing an essential service. We're not discretionary, we're necessary. And that has a range of interesting implications. One is the response has led to unexpected collaborations, and we can really build on those collaborations to expand this community. And maybe the most important one is there's a notion of build back better. And I think this week, as you go through the arc of the sessions from me to Sherry to Blair to Tomas, what you saw was a better version of build back better, a way to build back that's more inclusive, more responsive, more sustainable. And so we have a really profound role, I think, to realize that vision of building back better, better.
So moving on to Tuesday, we talked about community action. And you know, the most remarkable thing, as Neil said, was the way that the community came together, leveraging our global knowledge and infrastructure for local response. And so this points towards extraordinary opportunities outside of COVID-19 and the pandemic to revision and reimagine our world, a more sustainable world for both the people and the planet. And so we started out by talking to Tsunami Coffee, who really talked about how you bring resilience and the self sort of efficacy and independence of the rural community into the city, into cities in Africa. And by establishing places like Fab Labs and makerspaces, youth can learn not only about technology, but can actively participate in community and really, really make a difference and build capacity themselves, both for leadership and for technology innovation, et cetera. And you don't even need a lot of technology to do it, right? You just need some very basic parts. And then we talked to Peter Raymond from New Bureau, who really has an interesting perspective on how we can use technology right now to help us make choices, help us make really good and informed choices around the world in how we respond either to crisis or to other opportunities. So we talked a bit about how, you know, locally the Fab Labs have been very innovative and very responsive, but that's not always very sustainable either in terms of finances or in terms of the planet. And how you may really need, or we really do need, large scale, sometimes some of the processes of large scale manufacturing in order to scale and in order to use best practices, right, in both ways. So it was a very interesting conversation around sort of, you know, very, very locally supported resilience and also globally supported resilience from a technology perspective. And then we also, then we talked and celebrated people from the network who were doing just really, really interesting interventions. So we talked to Christine Met and Tony, her partner from Aruba, who basically found amazing new partnerships around the country to find supplies and to create the PPE that was needed throughout the island, because, you know, the island was pretty much isolated. You know, they had nothing coming in, they had no manufacturing, et cetera. And so they had to respond, you know, in many different ways and be very innovative about the materials that they used. And so they basically organized the whole country around PPE, which was extraordinary. And then we talked to Vaibhav Chabra and his partner Risha about what they did at Makers Asylum in Mumbai. And they were able to organize the maker community of about 43 labs around India to make 1 million masks in 49 days. Not masks, sorry, 1 million shields in 49 days, which was an extraordinary fast response. And they did it in a sustainable way. So they figured out what the business model was and did it sustainably with locally available sustainable materials. And then we talked to Thomas Landrain, who, you know, is one of the co-founders of the Joggle platform, which is, it's just one giant lab. And it's really about, his response was really about how we take the research and make it open source, and how we propagate best practices, and eventually how we create an ecosystem around open source ideas and designs to create sustainable businesses and solutions for the future. And so, and then last but not least, we talked to Samira Chukpali about Need Lab. And that was, her approach is really about co-designing, co-creating with community solutions that in the end help community, but also help build capacity in community. And so it was super interesting to see all of these different approaches and how we might at some point bring them together to rebuild and reimagine a sustainable future. So that was Tuesday in community action. Blair, off to you.
All right, over to Wednesday. Wednesday was about rebooting the economy. And one of the things that immediately came out through all of the discussions is that they were conceptualizing it not as rebooting the economy, but transforming and restructuring the economy, which is inherent in the concept of building back better. And so we had a significant discussion about what better, really would be. And it was nice coming off of Neil's on Monday and Sherry's on Tuesday, because as people went through the conversation, all of the mechanisms that were being discussed to be integrated to form these solutions are already represented in real work that is going on in the network at this point in time. So there wasn't really a lot of pie in the sky discussion. And so the elements of better that were kind of pervasive through the different conversations, one is that, inequity needs to be reduced, and it needs to be a more uniform economy for people to be able to participate in. So, part of the transforming back into a better state is to reduce the level of inequality in participation. In the plenitude terms, kind of body integrity, security, self-determination was a significant part of it. Economic stability and participation and realizing oneself in the context of economy has a lot to do with your having a stable role and ability to have some self-determination and participation in the process. Environmental, whether it's discussed as environmental, sustainability, climate change, regeneration, or sustainability in material and energy use. One of the anchors that pervaded through this also was that, this is multiple systems need to be addressed at the same time. There are trade-offs between them, but any one can't be optimized in the absence of the others. So that idea of environment being at front and center was a critical part of everyone's conversation. There was producing quality of life, and someone in the comments asked whether we're talking about quality of life or living a life of quality. Interesting wordplay, but I think in the conversation overall, the idea was representing both of those identically. The ability to lead a healthy and self-determined life. There's also an important discussion around, whose definition are we talking about? And the pervasive idea with that is that's a locally determined consideration. The idea that everybody has the means to create quality of life for themselves should be universal. However, the definition of quality of life or living a life of quality is a very local determination based on democratic processes. And that, parallel the conversation about movements being extremely critical in this. Utilizing social technology and movements is, as important as localizing, especially when it comes to scaling this and having it apply at all levels, kind of from the household all the way up to government. Because part of the conversation was also about governments will follow what people make them follow, and movements are what creates the incentive for higher levels to follow what the lower levels have innovated. Another component that was prevalent through the conversations was one of balance, whether it was between low tech, mid tech, kind of high tech. There's the discussion that need-driven responses locally are not always the most whiz-bang high tech capabilities. Are certainly enabled by them. But to really focus on kind of that grassroots bottom-up understanding about what local needs are and being responsive to that as a way of really rebooting the economy in a way that's beneficial to the folks that are there. Not just kind of getting back into an earn and spend kind of cycle, but trying to use one's time at a community level to produce things that are actually locally relevant and beneficial. Everyone kind of spoke in different ways to the fact that it involves a different way of living. that includes sharing in different ways, which is part of the fabric of the Fab Lab network, but sharing across broader disciplines of activity too. Design for sustainability was an important part. On-demand production was an important part that everyone mentioned. And just different infrastructures for sharing productive resources was another kind of prevailing theme. So I was very pleased with the range of definitions on the one hand, and the consistency in the definition of what better is. And also, reflecting on it, again, no one mentioned any basis of thinking or technology or practices that aren't already being prototyped within the network in different ways. So, we're in an ideal place at the ideal point in time, as Neil mentioned, the not wasted good crisis. So I think it was a useful session and pointed in the direction of kind of what our definition should be about better as we're building back economically, which probably leads pretty well into Tomas on Thursday into the future.
Thank you, Blair. I think that this very event is a proof that we are not wasting a crisis. And I think that we have made out of this event in this very special condition a way to get into more people and to all the corners of the world. So it's really beautiful to see what, all the reactions of people saying that, they feel that never has been so inclusive, that they never feel so connected to the FabLab network. So cheers to everyone that didn't waste this crisis. It's a nice thread, and also it was a big challenge to pick up from the previous days of the Fab conference because the bar was really high, and I have to say that I was a bit nervous of trying to keep the standards. But I think that the speakers did an amazing job, especially the way in which we created a flow, starting with the conversation between Ron Eglash and Felencia Hutabarat. The intention of that session was to bring the voice of someone like Ron, which has a very critical position in relationship to the current production model and which are the foundations of that production model, based on in-depth research that he has been doing, especially in academia for many years. I like the approach from Ron sometimes can be very sharp and dry, but he basically refers to the extractive economy that we have been building, especially in the base of colonialism. There's a lot of principles of colonial history are embedded in the way we produce and distribute goods, and also we produce and distribute values at the moment. But I think that he brings also a really interesting perspective because not only being critical, but also being propositive in relationship on which kind of alternatives we have to create a different productive model. And he refers to the use of technology as a double sword edge. In one hand, we can kill diversity, basically, when everything is reduced to ones and zeros. But it's also an excellent tool, and he has been proven that through different experiments, to actually transmit culture and transmit diversity using these new means of expression. So I found that beautiful, this paradox in which, a tool that can be very, very limiting in terms of diversity becomes the channel in which diversity is transmitted, and also in a way to engage different ages into the use of technology to manifest that cultural diversity. Then Felencia, she's in Indonesia, and she's been working on, especially with the network of co-working and the creative economy of Indonesia. And I think what's really interesting the way in which she was referring, to a technology like language, and how that language sometimes creates these abstractions, and also in a way forgets the context and that diversity. And she was explaining how in Indonesia, the communities had to respond to the COVID crisis, taken from the lessons of the North, that they were coming in a different language and with different expressions and with different means that people could use. So one of the very fascinating responses that she shared with us is the way in which some of the responses to actually keep people safe was not about creating or a device or 3D printing something, but was using references to local culture, like for instance, dressing people with this evil as monster evils, which is referring to certain religious celebrations to scare people that were outside when they were supposed to be in lockdown. So this kind of a play between culture and technology is something that I found really, really fascinating from that first session. And then also was a really entry point to the second part of the Emerging Futures, in which we had the opportunity to celebrate people that has been growing within the FabLab network, but also that have been pushing the limits of the network. And this is something I really, really was inspired by the work of Tomas, of Robert, of Alejandra, of Eche and Carmen, because what they have been trying to do is to go beyond the lab, not just staying experimenting in the lab, but also really looking on what the lab can do in the outside its walls, in the real world. And they have been doing by building evidence, by convincing people to give them funding to create projects, by enabling new laboratories, by working with communities, and especially Carmen and Eche by creating new and diverse narratives using technology. So just to conclude, I think that probably many people was expecting in the Emerging Futures session to have, a kind of a Elon Musk driven by kind of session in which we're going to show rockets going to Mars and driverless cars and this kind of a techno-futuristic approach to what we could do to create the futures we want. But actually, I think that the lesson is that the questions about, the creation of these possible futures are probably more simple, and they have to refer to diversity, to learn from each other, and in order to do that, one of the, I think, like a common points of agreement is that we need more learning spaces, design learning spaces for different cultures to encounter, from technology to meets context, and for us keeping making the change that we want to put in the world. So. Sherry, over to you, and thank you.
Thank you. It's a beautiful message to end with. The diversity and inclusion of this community in building that future is just, it's beautiful. Thank you, Tomas. Thank you, all of you. Well, it's that time of year. It's one of my most favorite times to talk to the network. This is a short session on life milestones, and we call it Fab Love. And so we're going to celebrate in this like really tough year that we've all had. We're going to celebrate the wonderful things that have happened, some of the wonderful things that have happened in the network. So I'm going to share my screen, and I believe we have a little background music. And so this is Fab Love, and we are going to celebrate a bunch of people that we love very much from the network and their life milestones. So first, this is on July 24th, just a few days ago. Brent, there is no presentation on the screen. Thank you. All right, let's go to Zoom, and we will now share. Okay, got it. So this is Brent and Kay Richardson from Fab Lab Houston. Brent was a student last year in Fabacademy, and just a few days ago, young Zoe, their second child, came into the world. This is in January. Babkin is from Armenia, Fab Lab Dilijan, and his wife Amalia had Areg in January, just as the pandemic was hitting. And Areg, I think, is a Fabacademy mentor in Armenia as well, and he's adorable. I think I saw a commentary about large noses for Armenians, and I think Areg does not really have a large nose. He's adorable. The next, this is from our own community here at the Fab Foundation. Dan Smithwick and his wife Morgan had Gaia, and for those of you who are not familiar with Gaia, it's one of the moons of Jupiter, and so she was born in February. And then our own Santi from Fab Lab Barcelona, he and his wife and son Guillaume have added Gloria. So Gloria was born not too long ago. Congratulations. And then, of course, we love these Hello Worlds from Bas and Linda. It says Fab Lab Houston. That's not right. But they brought in little Katla to the world, their second child, in December. We kind of miss seeing them. We haven't seen too much recently. And this is a really fun story. So Paloma is at MIT as a graduate student. She also works with FABCIC, the Fab at CIC. And then Jose came up from Chile. They're both from Chile. Jose came up from Chile and participated in Fabacademy, and of course met Paloma, and they fell in love. And little Celeste came into the world in April. So congratulations to you two. And then you saw Alejandra yesterday. She was one of our speakers. Well, she and Rafael got married last year, or a little more than a year ago, and their young Luciana came into the world in February, also right at the beginning of COVID. And then you may remember from last year, Yuka and June got married. They met, it was love at first sight. They met in Fab Lab Kamakura, she was teaching, he was taking Fabacademy. And last they had a little baby that was on the way. You see the sonogram in the middle. Well, now Yui, it's a girl, has arrived. She arrived back last November. So congratulations to you. And you may remember Ted and Candace last year got married in Egypt at the pyramids during Fab16. Well, they now have a little Nixie who was born in February as well from Fab Lab Taipei. And now this, oops, sorry. Can't do that. So this is Fab Lab Chandigarh. I'm gonna stop this video. This is a special story. Nishta and Mahavir started the first Fab Lab in Chandigarh, Zios Makerspace. They fell in love through digital fabrication. And they did for their Fabacademy project an evals project, which is sort of an electronic way of representing their vows to each other, and they got married recently, and they're very, very special in India, Fab Lab Chandigarh. So congratulations, Nishta and Mahavir. And then let's see, I'm going the wrong direction. Here we go, one more. Okay, this is a really special one. So this is from Fab Lab Puebla. This is Luis and Ivan. They got married by Zoom last week. And he, as you probably know, he's taught Fabacademy, he's taken Fabacademy, he's a huge part of the Fab Lab Puebla community. So congratulations, Luis. And then this is special for us all. Sibu Salman, he works sometimes for the Fab Foundation. He works with the Kerala team. He goes all over the world doing Fab. Well, he and Safna are getting married tomorrow. So we're super excited about that. And congratulations to them both. He said it's really dangerous to be in lockdown with your parents because they really do encourage you to get married. So just a lesson for future pandemics, okay? And then this is a really special one as well. So, coming very soon, Thomas and Kira will be getting married, hopefully in Bali and hopefully in the not too distant future. So congratulations to all of you. We love you. We're so excited. And I hope your year gets even better. Thank you. Now, we'll stop sharing if we can figure out how. All right, there we go. Yes, okay. So now we'd like to just take a short break to do Fabercise, and we have a very special Fabercise today. This is the bits of Fiore. So take a few minutes, relax, and enjoy the bits of Fiore.
Put out the fire. Boomerang. Award.
So very nice to remember our friend and to do this Fabercise in his honor. And let's continue to the very, very hot topic of challenges running during the week and before. So we have 3 challenges that we are going to announce and hear from today. And from the first one, we'll invite our maestro Beno Juarez from Fab Lab, that he will talk about symbio creation. Beno.
Thank you so much, Super Anastasia, and all Fab friends to be here. Yeah, we can see the video, please. Yeah, excellent. Thank you so much. It was a great experience integrating many people from different parts of the world for one challenge, one goal. It's to make a machine.
Con toda la evidencia científica acumulada, ahora sabemos lo importante que es llevar mascarilla o barbijo para prevenir el contagio.
Porque en muchos lugares, y sobre todo durante las primeras fases del COVID, el gran problema que tuvimos, tanto en la población como nosotros mismos, fue ese. La imposibilidad de acceder a este recurso que se ha visto que es tan fundamental.
Nuestro principal objetivo es construir una máquina capaz de solventar la escasez de mascarillas que hay a nivel mundial, que sea de bajo costo, bajo consumo energético, reutilizables y automatizando para que por medio de todos los asociados podamos hacer llegar por lo menos una a cada país necesitado.
Y así todos podamos tener acceso a este medio de protección sanitaria que tanto necesitamos.
Symbio es revolución.
Donde las ideas y soluciones de todos se junten y formen un gran concepto, capaz de permitir la fabricación de mascarillas a bajo costo y de manera accesible para todos.
Simbiocreación es una metodología que permite integrar ideas de cientos o miles de personas para generar productos de alto valor e impacto.
Más que nunca el mundo necesita pasar de competir a colaborar para construir juntos un nuevo futuro.
Simbiocreación es una invitación a repensar nuestros modelos productivos, transitando desde lógicas de competencia y consumo hacia sistemas integrados de colaboración y regeneración.
Integrar ideas y propósitos de vida.
Simbiocreación es una oportunidad de compartir y de integrar.
Un solo corazón creativo en busca de una meta común.
Integración de ideas y capacidades.
Criaremos juntos, con makers do mundo todo,
una manera de transformar el mundo.
En un mundo dividido por múltiples razones, Simbiocreación promueve la creatividad colaborativa.
Desde el este al oeste, del sur al norte, te invitamos a participar en el gran proyecto Simbiocreación de Mascarilla, donde todos unidos como un solo corazón vamos a vencer este desafío del COVID ¡Todos unidos!
So the process started with this call to the community. We use for first time in this Fab event our own app. And in this app, we started to collect individual ideas. And these ideas create groups ideas. And these groups ideas, groups of groups ideas. It was a really emergent process and a process to make not only a machine, it was a process to make a community. And also, we could identify many different strains. The most important trains in this process were materials, especially biodegradable materials, and not only the machine, how to make a machine that could be replicated in different parts of the world in an easy way, also how to measure the quality of the mask. It was a really important contribution of the network. Well, today we have this final session to show in extended version at 3 p.m. Boston time. If you want to join us, that will be great. And you will see more details about this project that has been made for many different people around the world and connecting these ideas. As Delia says, more than make a machine, we make a community, we make a group of people that could make more challenge like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Benon. So let's go to our second challenge, which is the Makers for Good. And let's see how this went. It's an organization for designing the new reality by Makers for Good and Wikifactory. And I know that it has been very, very intense.
Thank you. Hello. Can you hear me? Yes. Yes, can you hear me? Yes, okay, thank you. Hello, welcome. My name is Oscar Velasquez. I am part of the team of Makers for Good. We had this challenge during the FABxLive, and we have united a lot of the makers around the world to create innovations for 4 categories. The first one was cities. We got home, work, and planet. And we have received a lot of applications. We received 24 projects. We gathered up 30 mentors, 4 judges in 12 countries. It was during for 5 days. And I thank all the community that has helped us build these amazing projects. We have some prizes to announce for today. This maker community is a global movement that we want to create in every city, combining the maker spaces and the Fab Labs, the power of creation, so that they can solve the most pressing issues at the local level. We want them to innovate globally and make locally. So we're going to announce the prizes that our sponsors, Wikifactory, Seed Studio, Smart Impact, SolidWorks, Dassault Systems, and Miro have given to all these amazing makers. So thank you so much for the FabxLive to invite us to participate. And it was really amazing week. We have so much fun and so many really good projects. So I like to present all the prizes. The first one, it's called Uvondesk. That's the first place. And they have won the cash prize from Dassault Systems, SolidWorks. They also won one prize for Seed Studio for making PCBs and electronic PCBs, and also 1 year subscription to Wikifactory Costco. And as well, one consultancy from Smart Impact to develop further their maker business model. We had actually 2 prizes for the second place. It's FabLab Dust with a 3D printed extruder, also using circular economy processes for their materials. And in the second place as well, it's Hybrid Draw, which is another, it's using drawing and digital fabrication and virtual reality to help advance the drawing and the art and combine it to the digital fabrication. Also, Backkeeper. It's another. It's a device that you put in the bag for your poster, and it's all electronics, and it's from Santiago, and they have won the 3rd place. And yeah, those are the places that won. And we thank you so much, FABxLive, for having us here. And we invite you to the Makers for Good community. And we're looking for starting chapters around the world. So all the Fab Labs are invited to join the community. Here's the website. And we like to start communicating and bringing the Fab Lab network and the power of the Fab Lab and the talent of the Fab Labs, bringing and the making at the local level and trying to solve the most pressing issues for the world. We think that we can actually change things and connect to each other. It's really a very interesting opportunity where we are all one, we are all connected, and we liked everyone. We would like everyone to connect here to the network. And thank you so much to the Fablove network. Thank you. It was an amazing week. So interesting, all the events. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you.
Thank you, Anastasia.
I hope that everybody can go through the documentation on Wikipedia. So now to the last challenge, which was the social distancing challenge. It was about making literal new kinds of human interactions between people, redefining space. And it was a fun challenge, and we are very, very excited of what you have shared with us on the community platform. The idea of this challenge was to actually activate the community and have the jury being part of our community. So I will share my screen. Oh. And the idea was to ideate, create, and think about solutions that are a little bit posthumanism, a little bit imaginaries, a little bit remember how science fiction in the 60s imagined utopias and dystopias, and then create quickly prototypes with sketches because there was only 1 week. So we received many, many different ideas. And then the participants, they were asked to develop a first iteration of the prototype. So there is not much to say because there is also not so much time. So we will go directly to the winners. That they will win three brothers sewing machines. And we decided that we would like to have this community-based action seeing in our platform, which were the ambassadors, the ones that they engaged more with the community. So we selected our ambassadors according to the community platform. And here are the winners. So you can see the first winner is Philippe Lipure.
Typically, with social distancing, the problem is not in front of me, problem is typically behind. Thus, what I propose is to integrate that thing in the cap, and when you come closer, it lights up and says, please stay away. But as you can see, I need sewing machine. Thank you.
Amazing. So this is the first winner, and it's a traffic light head cap actually, and it's a very, very good documented. The second winner is a 6 Feet Man by Beth Lloyd. So she actually made this inflatable during this week. So congratulations, Beth. It was very good to see this engagement, and it was very nice to see making this inflatable in a week and also documenting it with so much excitement. So very, very, very congratulations to you. And the third winner is Poja from Binyam Ashram. Let's see. Amazing. So big congrats to all of you for all these 3 challenges. And it was very nice to be remotely creating and sharing together in this FABxLive. And we hope that we can be more connected and we can share more our projects. So talking about sharing projects, we had this initiative this year to create this virtual exhibition, which is kind of trying to call on bringing all the Fabacademy, Fabricademy, and labs projects in a common space, and not seeing them as part of their documentation, but seeing them as projects and what categories are. So we managed to have 70 entries for this virtual exhibition. And you can, I will share my screen so that you can see them. So here you can see that we have the different projects, and they're made very, very easily and with just a picture. And then you can select the different categories, and then you can see different projects. So it's nice if you have made, for example, toys, you can find other people on the network that they have created toys, and maybe you can make groups. So we would like to keep this form on and open. This is a temporal space. We are thinking something different about it, but it was a good call so that we can start gathering this information. And we gathered the information from previous Fabacademy Reels, and that you will see later on today. And please, if you haven't submitted your project, even if your project was like 10 years ago, then please submit it. We would like to start collecting and creating all this legacy. And finally, finally, I would like to give a big applause to the 3 most popular sessions, activities that happened during the week. So the first activity that was most popular was designing learning ecosystems in an emergent future. It was made by Santi Fuentimilla and Xavi Dominguez by Fablove Barcelona with 65 participants. A big applause. The second one was starting a digital badge program in your Fab Lab by Sarah Boisvet and Geoffrey Garon Apol by Fablove Hub and Pygmalion Numerique. And the third most popular session was Make Joy using Google Drawings and Tinkercad by Netris Gaskins, Sue Huzak, and Craig Hanning by Leslie Steam Learning Lab and at Lesley University. So big applause to the 3 most popular sessions. These sessions will be posted very, very soon on Fab Foundation YouTube channel, and there will be the first ones that you can have access to. And going on into what's happening later, and what we want to tell you is that what's happening after today. We have activities, mainly working groups or panel and discussions happening on the 3rd, on the 4th, and on the 6th of August. Some of them, they are in English, some of them, they are in other languages. So have a look at that. And this also brings us to the topic that we would like to keep our community platform open so that we can continue posting activities that the people can join. So we will be seeing the different people that have engaged with the platform, and we will be making them moderators so that they can organize locally in their countries and then represent and coordinate in this digital platform the different activities of the network throughout the year. That said,
so I think it's time to start thinking about wrapping up.
Yes.
I would really like to take a few moments to thank all of the amazing people that made this possible. First, please let me thank our team at the Fab Foundation, the core team that made all of this new online approach possible. And that would be Norella and Anastasia and Francisco and Christian and Miriam. You all did an extraordinary job. Bravo, bravo, bravo. And also Victor, don't let me forget Victor, as well as Sarah Boisvert. I mean, it took a village to make this happen, and you pulled it off beautifully. I would also really like to thank our volunteers. Our volunteers did so much. They did social media. They sat in on our on all of our different Zoom sessions to help moderate. They just did an extraordinary job. And here, I can't name them all, but here are pictures of these very special people that helped us. And we just so appreciate it. And then I want to thank the staff of the Fab Foundation, because they've also been helping by planning sessions and moderating sessions, and just all around trying to support you all. And last but not least, I would also thank our sponsors, which would be SolidWorks, Dassault Systems, Brother, Forest, and Chevron, all of whom have been very, very, very critical and important in making this happen. And I want to thank all of you, because you're the ones that put together this content. You're the ones that made, that really, really brought us together and made this happen and made it such a special event. So thank you all. And we had to meet virtually this year. It was great, but it wasn't quite the same. And so we're kind of hoping that next year next summer, we're planning to be back in Montreal with Fab16. So just as a little introduction to that, I sat in on a great workshop this morning about the canary, right? So I think you've all heard of the canary in the coal mine. This is a Fab project that came out of EcoFab, a Fabacademy project that came out of EcoFab. I believe Annie did this. And she basically wanted to do environmental sensors. It was inspired largely by the Smart Citizens Project. But the idea is to give especially young people an opportunity to go out into the environment and to experience the environment and then figure out whether the environment is really good for them or not. And if it isn't, then figure out solutions. And so it's a way to talk about community, to be in community, and to build community with others in other places doing the same thing. And so I made this little canary. This is the canary. And it usually senses the air. This particular version senses the air and figures out whether your air is of good quality or not. And so this little bird, this little canary is going to fly from me all the way to Montreal. So take off, little canary. Here we go. We're going to pass off. We're going to go to Montreal. Montreal, Monique, you there? There we go. Yay. So Monique, tell us a little bit about what to expect next year.
Okay, so it will be very, very nice to have the Fab16 in Montreal next year. We hope to welcome you in large numbers in person and probably online either. So next year, Montreal will host the Fab16 and the Fab City Summit. We encourage to save the date, would be the August 9 to August 15, and under the theme of fabricating the commons. As we have seen together, Fab Labs are communities producing and sharing knowledge and tools based on peer production. They manage their resource as commons. They act as a global community that makes shared experience the powerful engine of cultural transformation to invent the new society with all generations of citizens. So we encourage you to bring your canary next year in Montreal. Thank you so much for all you, the organizer. It was so incredible, so much appreciate to be able to meet this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monique. Yeah, we will be delighted to be there next year. Hopefully we can fly there as the bird flew super fast. And now I think some of us are expecting this session where we're going to announce the winner of Fab19. So we did a couple of pitches. The pitches came from Panama, the Czech Republic, then Finland, and finally, now I'm forgetting the last name. Sorry, I forgot the last name. So we
Armenia.
had Armenia. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Tomas. So yeah, we had Armenia, we had Czech Republic, we had Panama, and we have Finland. We did a poll, by the way, just this year. We did a kind of little bit different. We did a poll on our platform where everybody joined, and we had a couple of votes, a lot of votes. So without further ado, the winner of Fab19 2024 is Czech Republic. So we did a little bit different. Sorry we couldn't put you in the stage if you want to call it like that. But we will be delighted, and everyone can be delighted in chatting with them on the platform, congratulating them. And I think that's about it. But don't leave. We will continue now with Academy Reel and then move to the party. So don't leave us. So I'll leave you now with Neil Gershenfeld, who is going to talk a little bit more and share his experience through Fabacademy. Neil?
Thanks, Norella. Congratulations to the Czech Republic. So here's what's going to happen. In a normal FabX, one of the high points is the celebration of the graduation. We obviously can't do that in person. So we have about a half hour of content, and then we're going to do a round the world party. So I'm going to recap Fabacademy, hand off to Luciana, then hand off to Cecilia and Anastasia. Then we're going to do highlight reels. And then at 12:30, I'll explain the format for the round the world party that we'll use to conclude this remarkable week. So to take stock of this cycle, and I'm going to turn on my screen share. So you should have that now. In many ways, we were prepared for the pandemic. The Fabacademy has worked through generations of video conferencing. Those of you from the beginning remember we ran our own hardware that was small and then got big, and then we moved into generations of the cloud. Thanks to Fiore's leadership, we've been well supported online with a distributed platform. So in that sense, we were ready for this. But the pandemic, the really interesting thing it did is it accelerated our future. Things we thought were far away came closer as we navigated through how we keep running during the pandemic. So interesting projects included Ulu provided remote interfaces, so students could be at home but run machines in the lab. Barcelona pushed a low-cost machine that could go to the students. This is something we've been talking about for years in Fab 2.0. So rather than sharing one machine, every student gets their own machine. UAE developed a VR lab. This was a project from Harvard to develop electronics kits to go to the students. And what really emerged from that is, without much thought, we've been just assuming students come and work in the lab. One of the things this pandemic has done is really lead to taking the lab to the students, not the students to the lab. Much more distributed access to the tools. And I think that's going to have huge implications in the future. It won't be based on sharing the machines as a scarce resource, but it'll be much more permeable both between the central lab and the distributed students. Another thing that happened is, along with the student projects, the team of instructors and the whole team that runs this has developed a number of collective projects that I think are going to be really important. One is, rather than the inventory just being a long spreadsheet you have to figure out how to order, we have a great team working on building class kits and turning the inventory into a supply chain. So you can source all of the ingredients that go into a lab as a live online supply chain. There's a project revisiting the idea of a thesis. So when you finish Fabacademy, many students kind of fall off a cliff and want to keep going. There's a group working on developing a thesis for more advanced study. There's been a lot of progress in accreditation. More and more institutions are accrediting the Fabacademy under their own system, and every one of these makes another one easier. To have our credential done in the coordinated global way, recognized in a number of local systems. There was a pause on the Bioacademy. You'll hear about Fabricademy in a moment. The Bioacademy is going through a reboot at MIT, and then we'll take that global again. And maybe the most important project is one on people and jobs. We used to run jobs.fabeconomy. One of Fiore's last projects was working on a reboot of that. Julia Hansen, who runs Fab at CIC in Boston, as well as a number of others, are helping with that reboot. Our greatest natural resource is our people, but we don't really manage it in the same way we manage our machines. And so we're developing a pipeline for students coming through Fabacademy to find jobs, people looking to hire to find people, ways to find application for advanced study outside of traditional pipelines, ways to find investment. And so one of the biggest projects is really going to be nurturing and taking care of our greatest resources, which is the people in the network. So all of these got seeded during this pandemic cycle, and I expect to be growing. And so with that, let me hand off now to Luciana to recap the cycle. And do you want to screen share or? Okay, I'll just leave this up. Go ahead, Luciana.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I am Luciana, for those of you that don't know me. I am the global coordinator of Fabacademy. Fabacademy, I believe to be at the core of the FabLive network, is one of the many driving forces and of dynamics of this amazing community. So far, Fabacademy has seen pass through around 1,900 students, and half of them have graduated, and Fabacademy has run through more than 50 countries and more than 160 cities around the world, all these in 11 years. So it's way much more than just applications and implications. It really is an amazing course that we focus on distributing knowledge and empowering individuals and communities to make it a local impact. This year, we started the cycle with around 244 students distributed in 64 Fab Labs. Well, we started as every year with a lot of illusion and a lot of plans, and then what happened by half of the cycle. Most of I would say like 3/4 of the Fab Labs were closed or with severe restrictions due to COVID pandemic. But the amazing thing is that despite all that, despite the difficulties in accessing the Fab Lab and the supply chains and the personal circumstances all students and staff had to endure, Fabacademy kept on running, and we managed to reach to July with more than 100 presentations. So almost half of the students managed to present final projects, and not only final projects, amazing final projects that you will see later on in the reel. So to this unique and inspiring conference, I would like to add my personal experience of being inspired by Fabacademy community, because this would not have been possible if it were not for the instructors and Neil and the students working every day from home and just reaching these amazing numbers. We keep on receiving requests to keep on presenting final projects, and we are very confident that by the end of the year we will have similar numbers to the past cycle. Everybody's working very hard, and I'm really proud and honored to be part of this community. Just to wrap up, a couple of ideas around the future. We've been working on synchronous and asynchronous ways to approach Fabacademy. We've been working on some models, some of which Fabacademy X is one of them. Fabacademy X is a sort of a version of Fabacademy, but in local language, in local time zone, is a sort of a fan-out layer of Fabricademy taught by instructors in local communities. Fabricademy Y is the possibility for long-time practitioners to certify their knowledge without having to take the entire Fabricademy. So it's a great opportunity to have the diploma without having to take the whole course, just by proving through global evaluators that you fulfill all the assignments, etc. Fabricademy Z is something that we've been testing this year. It's sort of adapted to local languages, in which like local reviews and everyday lab is in local language, and then students document in English for the rest of the cycle to run in global evaluation. And also we've been discussing per topic certificates for some time. Let's see if this can attract local talent, and if it can create also a bit of a local economy for Fab Labs. So to wrap up, thank you everybody. I'm very, very happy to have seen all this pass through in this crazy cycle. I wish you the best. Take care and see you in Canada.
That's great. Thank you, Luciana. more than I expected, the Fabacademy has become this kind of virtuous circle of training, collaborating cohorts, and building, propagating best practices. And right at the center is Luciana, who's in touch with every single student, every single lab, every single instructor, making it all work. So Academy, the academy of almost anything that grew out of Fabacademy, has a high threshold to add classes. I get a number of proposals. Why don't we have a class in X? And I challenge them for what they need to do. And I'll never forget walking around the Shanzai stores in Shenzhen, Fiore looking to me and saying, next class is going to be textiles. And there's these two girls you should talk to, women. Anastasia and Cecilia, and I kind of looked at him, textiles, what? Where did that come from? And it's been a fabulous success. So Cecilia and Anastasia, take over.
Thank you, Neil. It has been indeed a very, very intense and nice journey. We are the youngest program of Academy. We have finished our third year. And we are heading towards the fourth one, considering the new normals and a different, more distributed way of making the program. So I will share my screen with you and talk to you a little bit about what is Fabricademy, what happened this year, and where are we heading. And also I would like to introduce Cecilia, that she's on the other side. And if you want to have some words while I am sharing my screen.
No, definitely. I mean, I think we will show it also now. We're extremely proud of this year's students, and the fact that they have managed to achieve all of their final projects and all of their wishes, no matter what. So, and we will show this, of course, also in the reel later. So it's been a great adventure, but also quite complex this year.
So, yes, we were lucky, and we were in March, so we had already done a great amount of work, but we still had to finish the things. So the students, they had to reinvent themselves. And Celia?
Yes, sorry, slides weren't loading. Yeah, as I was saying also earlier, and as also Neil was mentioning, we are really proud of the students this year. I mean, they have managed to somehow bring personal fabrication to a whole next level, to bring labs at their home, rebuild everything they needed in their own living rooms, bedrooms, studios, wherever they were. So they were really able to surpass these adversities that we all have been facing, still facing today, and then create new ways also of researching, new ways of presenting their work and executing it. So somehow they have also crafted, let's say, new formats. And this allows us also to execute the academy and the program and prove that personal fabrication can reach a complete new level. But you see here also some lovely testimonies from some of our students of this year. This is Pauline. Pauline actually managed to open her own lab and will be running Fabricademy from there also next year. On the right side instead, you see Lucrecia. Lucrecia started actually her own microfactory. So she's also really looking at how to provide materials for other designers. And she was, yeah, thank you. Rabab explored beautifully how actually heritage and digital fabrication can come together. So also really exploring how crafts can reach a whole new potential. And Carolina, who was doing her PhD, was actually exploring sustainable packaging and had to translate also much more industrial processes into a home environment, collecting materials also around her.
So basically, Fabricademy is a new program, and it is a little bit different, and it deals with textile technologies and digital fabrication. It has a mission to have a different, like more diverse audience and open to the society. and immerse the Fab Lab movement in our district and everywhere. And it starts in this September, so we will start normally, and it runs until December with 13 classes, and then from January to March we have personal project development. The Fabricademy program is made from diverse different people, different experts in the field, coming from the network or coming from outside for the different classes that we have. And basically what we would like to propose to the labs is an expansion of the inventory with a light setup of a bio lab also for the Bioacademy, but also a light setup of a textile lab with tools and machines in order to welcome this new public. We have made some adaptations for next year. So basically we realized that our audience were professionals, that they are working and they don't have the luxury to spend all the time in the lab to fully immerse in the program. So we are offering the full academy, but we are also offering single weeks, partial weeks, and short weeks. The reason why we are doing that is because Fabricademy still is small, is new, is flexible, and we really, it's a very one-to-one training in the end, and we can allow ourselves to enter this complex but very adaptable and systems for the rest. And we made these packages, which is called Fabricademy a la carte. And we offer 3 packages. One is the sustainability package, and the other is the industry 4.0, and the other is the wearable technology package. And we are very, very happy to welcome our new nodes.
Yes, and as you can see here, and also as we were mentioning earlier, this year it is extremely important that we also have more and more nodes. So these are the ones that you can find this year, but we would like to welcome in Europe the Aegean Idea Lab in Paros, so you can have Fabricademy on an island, quite a special experience. In North America, of course, also EcoFab, which we are very much looking forward to also in regards to next year. And in the Middle East and Asia, we have quite some new labs. There's the TechWorks in Amman, there is the Fab Lab Bahrain, and of course, the Super Fab Lab in Kochi, which will be a great new experience, also exploring all the new machinery. And in South America, Seiborg in Argentina, and the University of Design in Montevideo in Uruguay.
So another thing that we developed, and maybe Cecilia, you would like to, so it was our application system, because we are trying to move to a more distributed governance. So we have developed a system of enrollment where, yes, Cecilia, you can say it better about that because it was developed from your side.
Yeah, it's what we're looking at here is an application system through which actually the labs can themselves also monitor and see the applications directly and get in touch with the students. So this is something that we also hope to expand with all new features and whatever else we will see that will be needed. But it's a way to distributing, let's say, also the infrastructure to see how other labs can interact with the system itself.
Yes, basically the labs, they can receive notifications and they can go on the platform to check the portfolios. So one last but not least, the fact that we have last week, in order to find how we can make Fabricademy sustainable and in order to find how we can actually empower the current labs in order to make the knowledge transfer to the new labs, we applied for a European program that is dealing with women and technology. It's bridging the gender gap. And we won it, and now we are going to start a 2-year European funded program that we need to expand Fabricademy curriculum to Fabricademy kids, Fabricademy universities, and Fabricademy professionals. And while we are expanding the curriculums with the first set of labs, we will be enrolling 12 more labs that we can actually give some fund that they can embrace these practices, and these labs will be worldwide. It's not only for Europe. So that said, I think that that's our news for Fabricademy, and we can go and see our Fabricademy reel, the students' projects. And we hope that you can, if you have interest in the program and if you want to support the program because it's new, we would like to have you on board contacting us. So we can go to the reel now.
Yeah, thank you, Anastasia.
congratulations, Anastasia and Cecilia, for that great work for your students navigating through it. And I look forward to watching this grow in the years to come. So now we come to Fabacademy highlights. And this is always my favorite and least favorite job. So if you go to the Fabacademy site to projects, so far we've had about half the students present. And so as this scrolls through, each of these is a documented project with a video to go with it. And when I had the job to put together a highlight reel, my first attempt ended up being about half an hour with half of them already presented. And so painfully, I had to cut it down to half that time, 15 minutes. But for every one of the projects you'll see in the highlight reel, there's multiple other ones that are equally wonderful. What I've tried to do is give you a tour through all of them. And so with that note, this is still only half the class who managed to get all of this work done mid-pandemic. And for each one you're going to see, there is as many more that you should see that aren't done that encourage you to browse. We're now going to go to the highlights reel. And then when that's done, we'll come back and I'll explain what comes next. We're going to, well, I'll explain now, we're going to do a round the world tour as a format for a global party. And so, Fran, go ahead with the highlights. So this first one isn't a final project. This was my favorite weekly assignment. The learn to use a laser cutter. Alina did this amazing job building a castle system. So including the rack and pinion. So all of that was just a weekly assignment. Okay. Then came machine building. And this was in the early parts of the pandemic. And the Japanese group that were all distance did this amazing project where they each made a digital machine, audio music machine of some kind, and then they connected them all into a Japan-wide network to do this performance. So aside from being creative, the technology behind it is impressive. We've never had a national scale machine. And there they all are. So this next project was impressive. Harm from Vaag finished right on schedule. This was the first project out of the pipeline. So then what's interesting about this lovely project is Adrian's day job is he actually drives real trains. Oh, and this one, The Fountains of Despair from ULB. Along with other things, he works in the theater. And I probably can't fully represent the theatrical context to this, but his page does justice to The Fountains of Despair. I think that's the first time we had that as a final project. And of course, there's a web interface to The Fountains of Despair. So that was from ULB. Yeah, and this next one was a nice integration of materials. To make a weather clock. Then from whimsical and theatrical, this project from China is really dealing with a profound goal, which is giving voice to kids in huge classrooms from a teacher in Shanghai. With good user testing.
Introducing Mini Salt Factory.
Then this next one was an impressive version of a chemical engineering production facility as a fab project, fab class project. So a distillation tower to make salt and water. Then for meeting, this is to meet really profound immediate needs from Vidya and Ashram. Two more projects. This next one, I cautioned students to do one final project, and this was three, another one of these impressive Japanese ones. It's a human-powered generator where he made the generator part of it. And for extra credit, he made a remote control game that you control with the generator.
Scramble.
Oh, right, sorry, there's two more to go. This one was a wild Rubik's Cube solver. The combination of the mechanism and the algorithm.
Solving in 3, 2, 1. 1.
So another one from Shanghai. And then this final one, I particularly liked for maybe the best job of all in integrating everything in the Fabacademy in one project. Okay, and so that's it. So again, that was a selected subset of half of the class, just the remarkable work they did with the pandemic. And so what we're going to do now is, it's hard to do online socially distanced parties. The best ones I've seen have some structure. So what I'd like to first propose is a toast to everyone. So cheers and congratulations to the world. And then if we go back to turn the screen share back on, Fran, and I want to invite the Fabacademy instructors into the Zoom. And what I've asked them to do, well, actually, sorry, we don't even need the screen share because I'm just going to read through it. I've asked them to get ready in a minute for the ones available to tell us about the triumphs and train wrecks. And in some cases, it's literally train wrecks from doing Fabacademy the cycle. So we're going to do a quick round the world tour. I'm going to just go through all of the sites. If you're there, unmute, give us a quick triumph and train wreck. If not, we'll keep going. So AKGEC, AgriLab.
Yes.
Yep. So unmute, get the focus. Fran, we don't need the screen. In fact, I can just read through. Tell us triumphs and train wrecks.
We worked during the pandemic, and we succeed to the remote work with the students. They send us the file, and we mail them the circuits and the electronics, and we succeed in that way to continue smoothly. And then they can come back here and finish their product. And with the regional review, we really work a lot together. So one of my students did this machine with WAC, and for Fabix, we invited WAC, ULB, and other French Fab Lab to come here for the 3 first days.
Oh, great! That's a real peek at the future of the meeting being distributed with local gathering. And great, thank you. And by the way, feel free to keep toasting the students. This is now party time. Okay, Algarve, Bahrain, Bangalore.
Yeah, actually, hi Neil, how are you?
So triumphs and train wrecks.
Triumphs is like I have learned a lot, and it is like after joining the Fab Lab, right? I have been searching, and I've been eager in learning all new kinds of technologies like CNC machines and working with them, and I'm very eager to do every kind of machine works, and that's it.
Barcelona.
Here we are. We're actually, once we managed to go back to the lab, the students came back and they never left. They're still here. Wave.
We've been sleeping here.
They're still ongoing.
Great. Bhubaneswar, Xiao X Factory, Shindekar, Charlotte. Yeah, if Charlotte's not here, I wanted to mention this is a Fab Lab in a school doing K-12 education where the students do Fabacademy. And boy, the work of the many of the students, I'd say, was ahead of introductory MIT students doing the Fab class. Amazing work from the kids at Charlotte Latin, integrating it in K-12 education. Ciudad, Crunch Lab.
Hello, Neil and everybody from Crunch Lab Venice. We are a small Fab Lab, independent Fab Lab in Venice metropolitan area. And a part of this virus, we tried to keep the Fab Lab open, but we had the lockdown, of course. And we tried to help our local community, for example, printing out these bulbs and adaptators for mask ventilators that are commercially produced, but it is the adaptation. And for Fabricademy, we managed to bring only one student, that is Nicola, to almost the end. So that's it.
Okay, Desto, Digiscope, Dilijan. There are a number of really nice projects from Dilijan to browse. Isan, SE.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, can you see us?
Yeah.
Hi, hello. We're here from Isan. We are right now working in making some equipment for our doctors here in Peru for addressing the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. We're happy to come back to work.
Okay, good, thank you. Esni, Echo Studio, Egypt, FCT, Batrop, Insight Focus. I should mention this round the world tour was a relatively last minute plan. Urbid.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have any of my students with me today because today is the first day of the Eid holiday. But in Urbid, we had 4 students this year, 3 from the Atari refugee camp and 1 who is an employee at the Fab Lab. Unfortunately, 3 of my students who are from the Atari camp didn't get access due to Corona. But the good thing is right after Eid, which is next week, they will regain access again, and we're hoping they could graduate by January.
So this is an amazing story, Nadine. Can you talk about how that came about, the students coming from the refugee camp to do Fabacademy?
Yeah, so last year we gave 60 people from refugee camps with the help of UNICEF a maker residency, which is a 7-month intensive learning on digital fabrication. They came to us without any background on digital fabrication, and many of them has never used computers before. So we actually had to teach them how to Google things, how to create a Gmail account and everything related to that. And 3 of those students really excelled and did excellent work. They became very familiar with Fusion 360 and they started designing furniture for their own. So we pitched to UNICEF for them to be covered to take Fabacademy, and that's how it's happened.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story. There's been a long-standing discussion about the need for economic and educational and entertainment opportunities in refugee camps, and it's a fabulous case study that you were able to do.
Thank you so much.
Good. Okay, Kamakura, which I think gets the prize for the most highlighted projects.
Well,
hi, Neil.
Hi.
Go ahead.
No problem.
Go ahead.
Just one student. Yeah, I'm one of the students, and we're all from home because it's 3 a.m. in Japan right now. but yeah, we're really glad that many of our projects were shown on the highlight reel. It's been the instructors were really supportive throughout the lockdown, and yeah, we're very glad been through this journey.
Great. Anybody else from Kamakura?
Yeah, Neil, just wanted to highlight the fact that I think the students, this year we had more students than ever, and they worked really well together to help each other survive this COVID situation, and the online session adaptation was really effective. I think everybody worked really hard to continue to progress despite the challenges. That's it.
Great. And thank you for staying up so late for us. Kamp Linfort, can I?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm instructor. This year we have a very, difficult situation, but my students, I have only one student, Tatro. He did very well, and personally, my good experience is the making a machine in the social distance in the Japanese gym.
Great. And again, thanks for staying up. Can
Hello,
I?
Something.
I'd like to say thank you for Yuichi. He is very patient support for me, and I could manage to work it out. Thanks for him. So thank you very much.
That's great. There was a really nice collaboration across Japan through this period. Carola Kochi.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, hi. So none of us are graduating today, but then one person presented, but we are hoping that we will be able to graduate by January if things go well. We only had a couple of days last week. We got like after so long, but then it was all right. We just started on our projects so far. Yeah.
Okay, and you still have a couple weeks left in August, and so you can be ambitious and try to finish on that schedule.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, Karpur.
Hi, Neil.
Oh, sorry, Karpur, go ahead.
Yes, this is Vida from Kerapur. And so far this year was spent in the pandemic, but we tried our best to manage, and hopefully by the end we will be getting our students graduate. But during this pandemic, the area where our lab is established was already declared as a red zone. Most of the time it was filled with all the coronavirus cases. So one day in the night time, we shifted 2 or 3 our 3D printers to our main university office, and then we resumed our work. And yes, we have also supported because where there is a problems, there is an opportunity. So we found ourselves very fit to have manufacturing with the ventilator assembly this year in the Pakistan, and hand sanitizer soap dispenser machine, walk-through gates, and face shield, face masks, and we have given them as a community services to our IBA community services.
That's great. Yeah, it was really striking how nobody ever that I heard said we should stop or pause or give up on Fabacademy. It was just, how do we make this work? So, okay, thank you, Kaipor. La Machinerie.
Thank you.
Leon, I see you.
Hello from Leon in Spain. We are here 2 instructors and 1 local students. We had also 2 remote students. All of them finished their final project successfully, so we are very happy. We could manage the coronavirus crisis because we came to the lab to make some PPEs. So it was an opportunity for us to make the assignments in the Fabricademy also. So here is Adrian. I don't know if he wants to say something.
Hello, everybody. We see you the next year in Montreal, and we celebrate the graduation with all the students and with you, Neil. Thank you so much for this year. It was very complicated, but finally we can finish the Fabricademy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
And there's a kind of nature nurture in Fabacademy that there are labs that year after year, all the students do good work. And so you have to trace it back to the instructors. So with Nuri and Leon, just consistently good work gets done there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leon. Lorraine County, New Cairo, Shanghai. It's late, but there are a bunch of good projects from Shanghai. OpenDot, Ulu.
Hello, Neil. So we are here. Johnny should be somewhere there, but he's on holidays now. So
okay,
I'm here with 2 students. So we have had this year 9 students. All of them have presented the project. So we are quite happy. And then we have faced this COVID situation. We have created this remote system to control the machines. And in spite of the limitations, I think that we have done a pretty nice job.
Yeah, I was impressed by the quality of the Ulu projects. And when so many of them are so good, you have to give credit to the instructor, Yanni in this case. And you also did a really good job of experimenting with how to keep working remotely.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Cubic, Reykjavik, Rwanda. The Rwanda lab has been having a significant impact. We're in very active discussions about expanding it there. Shenzhen, again, it's late. Santa Chiara, Seoul, Singapore. Very late in Singapore, but they had a number of notable projects also. St. Jude.
Hello, Neil.
Hi.
Let me share my video. Yeah. Neil, thank you for another Fabricademy year. This was our first year as a node in a school in Costa Rica. We have 2 students, and sadly, the lab has been closed for most part of the cycle. But my students kept working. They are still working on their projects. And as an instructor, I offer them whatever time we didn't get access to the lab, we will have in the future, hopefully soon. But yeah, this is the second year that we do Fabacademy in Costa Rica, and I am hoping that we can continue and continue growing in the number of students. So nice to see you all, and goodbye.
Okay, thanks. In the chat, I see a couple we skipped over are here. So Dan, Insight Focus.
Oh, hello. Thanks, Neil. Well, I wanted to just, I had a great Fabricademy, and it was tough during the pandemic. We just opened up this week, so I was in at work at our Fab Lab helping open up to the general public this week.
And just for people who don't know Dan, he runs the Museum of Science and Industry Fab Lab. How many people come through in a year?
In 2019, we had over 12,000 people design and make something in our Fab Lab with a team of 6 people running it.
Yeah.
So, and then I got pretty far in my project. I'm still behind, and I'm hoping on the August 22nd, but my foam crawler, because of Saturday sessions, I was able to get really far on it. They really encouraged me to keep going. And I just switched these rollers to aluminum rollers. It's actually aluminum conduit from Home Depot. And I got all my axes working. So I'm hoping to have it running and presented on the August 22nd.
That's great.
And then I want to thank you, Neil, because it's obvious that you love Fabacademy and us. So thank you for that. And the Saturday sessions were great with Adrian, Fran, Pablo, and everybody else that really helped me out. So thank you.
Yeah, these were somewhat self-organized and really helpful, a team of students and instructors. And we had a bunch of sort of students who became instructors through the cycle. Babka and Diligent is here.
Yes, hello. Hello, Neil. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for the fabulous event. This year was a tough year for everybody. We were locked down for more than a month, and our students were working from home with their kids, but we did it two of our students graduated. They made the machine, they made their final project, and we have still one student who will be presenting this coming month. So it was a really great experience for everybody. Thank you for the support and help, especially for our guru, Ohad Meyuhas. He was very helpful in every problem. He was very supportive and always got solutions in any case.
Great. And again, I'm repeating myself, but there are some beautiful projects from Dilijan. In the chat, Farhan is noting a second Fab Lab arrived in Pakistan. Great. TechSup, Taipei, Slate Their Talents, TechWorks Amman, Tinkerers Castel de Fel, Tuarda.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
So this is Abda from Fab Lab, powered by Orange in Warsaw, and I want to thank you and thank everyone. This year, it's our first year to provide Fabacademy with two students who actually presented the last cycle. And I am actually really proud that we managed to do it even though all the circumstances. We have huge plans for here in Warsaw, like we are right now applying for accreditation from universities, technical universities and some designing universities for the academy. Actually, one of the things that I want to say is how it wasn't only a collaboration during the pandemic in our Fab Lab between the students and so on, but also that because it was our first year, so we used all our component and we ordered a new component, and we didn't the pandemic happened, we couldn't get them, and it was very nice that FabLab Bag sent us the component, like when we needed some kind of help in the in some electronic or code consultation, we were asking FabLab Egypt. I mean, like it was like you can get this kind of collaboration between the network, and it was actually amazing. I really loved how smooth it was, to be honest. So yeah, this is everything that I want to say, to be honest.
Good, that's beautiful. Let's see, in the chat we missed AKGEC. Take over.
Hi Neil.
Hi.
My name is Pulkit. I am one of the students working at the AKGC Fab Lab. We have 3 students this year, and due to pandemic we are not able to complete our project yet, but we will present it in coming weeks.
Okay, good.
It was very fun to learn many things and meet many people. There were many projects throughout the Fab Academy which were impressive in their own way.
Good. UAE, UCAL, ULB. ULB was another lab where it's hard to choose. For the highlights, there are a number of good projects. Vestmanair, number of good projects in Iceland. Vigyan Ashram.
Hello Neil, this is Aditi from Vigyan Ashram. I'm a local instructor here. This year we had 5 students. Among them, 4 had their final project presentation, and they are under the process of global evaluation. In this pandemic situation, we had a 24/7 live access. As you know, we have a residential Fab Lab here. And students completed their project, as well as we had number of activities like face shield making, disinfection chamber, and we made a lot of things here. And we had active participation in FABxLive. Also, yesterday we had an open house exhibition, and you might visited here. So we had actually great experience in this pandemic situation. Thank you for this.
What's so striking is Vigyan Ashram is in a historically poor, dry, remote, tiny village not near anything in India. And people have been coming from elite institutions and cities to study at Vigyan Ashram, the exact opposite of brain drain. Can you talk about where your students have gone on to? They've spread out all over India, the former students. Can you talk about former students from Vegan Ashram, where they've gone to?
Yes. We had a former student. They are managing a number of labs in Bangladesh and a number of students in India, but in different states.
So it's been this remarkable people from across India coming to this remote location and then fanning out across India again.
Yes.
Okay. Vag, let's see, are you at AgriLab?
I'm in AgriLab. And it was fun. So we had a couple of students here, and it's an amazing lab. And so I think my up in the water will fit about 50
Sorry,
times.
Hank, look at us when you talk, sorry.
The Waag Fab Lab will fit 50 times in this eye. It's really amazing.
So then a question is, well, first, how come so many of the VAG projects are so good?
I think we had remarkably good students. So I was really glad with the students.
Right.
So they made t-shirts for me. Can you see it?
Up a little. Okay. I can't see what it says.
Let's read the fucking manual.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see him.
That much anymore for the next cycle.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see a mashup of VAG sensibility and all the resources of AgriLab. Yeah, good. And again, this model of the distributed gathering, what they're doing right now is really a vision of the future of FabX. We have the main host site, but then we'll have these regional clusters. Okay, thank you, Hank. Almost done. Winam? Yucatan? ZOI?
Hello, Neil.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. It's super nice to see you and see all the projects. This time, the pandemic was really, I don't know, like difficult at the first time. We have been helping the medical people, that is in the hospitals, making devices as face shields. We have donated 40,000 of them. Also, with the Fabricademy students, we have been developing different projects. We started with 5 students, and now we have 2 finishing the Fabricademy. It was really tough, but it was a super nice experience. I think that the future of these technologies, digital technologies, is coming super fast, and more with the pandemic. At the point that we have automate the lab, and now we can control remotely, and the students have been doing their assignments from their houses. So it was a challenging time, and also we find that these maker movements are really important for the society, and even more fast to help than the government. So we are really happy that we are helping and developing our country, and we are feeling that. So thank you.
Great. And then Echo Fab, are you here? Looking ahead to Montreal. Okay, if not, yeah, it should be clear that we ended up stronger from doing this, and we ended up closer to the future from doing this. I would not remotely call this a feature or ever aim to do something like this, but it really drove us in a striking way that people collaborated more closely. We tackled things we thought were far in the future, and we're getting the students through doing work at least as well as they've ever done before. So amazing experience. So as we get towards wrapping up, so again, I think we need one more toast to everyone. And then as we, just before we transition to the final credits, we have a tradition in the Fabacademy. Each week at the end, everybody says goodbye in their own language. And so with hope and sadness, because this has been such an amazing week in so many ways, at so many levels, I'm happy and sorry to say, we all say, or sorry, I'm going to interrupt myself. So some of you know my daughter, and she's very busy in the circus world. And because in the circus world, shows always come and go, they have a tradition. They don't say goodbye. They say, see you down the road. So let's not say goodbye. How about if we all in our local language say, see you down the road.
Nos vemos pronto.
Nos vemos pronto.
Por la Hasta luego.
Nos encantará.
Hasta la próxima.
Éxito
a todos. Hasta la vista. Nos vemos pronto.
Nos vemos pronto.
Adiós, nos vemos pronto.
Neil make us all emotional.
Farhan?
Are we off?